So, just watched, and at the start of the video I have a tag hanging out, well, for like 10 minutes I have like this tag right here hanging out. So sorry, just ignore it, please ignore it. And cut to Eloise. Hi guys, and welcome to another video, or if you're new here, my name's Eloise and this is my new channel, Eloise Reads. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to be doing an unhaul video. I have to be honest, quite a lot of this video was filmed like a month or so back before I moved here, but I had quite a lot of books I wanted to unhaul. I can't remember the number. If I can work it out, I'll try and put the number like here. But yeah, and I wanted to film it before I left, so I just want to apologise for what's coming in the video because the lighting is really bad, what's behind me isn't great, so I just wanted to apologise, but I really wanted to share with you the books I was unhauling, because I love watching unhaul videos. They're like one of my favourite videos, so I thought, do you know what, I want to show what I'm unhauling, so that's why we're here. Now I do actually have an update because I have some books here that I really quickly wanted to show you, because yeah, I think I'm getting rid of them. So I've got 5 books here that I'll run through really quickly, and then I will cut to past Eloise, and she can talk through the books I got rid of a month or so ago. So the first book I'm going to be unhauling is a bit controversial, and I'm sorry, but it is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Now I read this month, so July, and I've been putting it off for ages because it's featured on so many people's top books of last year, so many people's top books of this year if they've only just read it. And I don't know, the premise didn't really, I wasn't that interested. So essentially Addie LaRue made a deal with the god who she prayed to after dark, who she was warned not to, and she wanted to get out the life that she was in back in the 1700s, I think it was, because essentially she was 23 and was being made to marry someone she did not want to marry, and she wanted to get away from that. So she made a deal, and basically it means that she is immortal, however she is forgotten by everyone she meets. So basically she'll meet someone, and as soon as they walk out the door or out of her vision, they forget who she is. So we follow her over 300 years, so kind of like the present day, until a guy in a bookshop she's trying to steal from remembers her. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was alright. I gave it 4 stars. Spoiler for my July wrap up. It was alright, but for me personally it wasn't anything special. Like, I didn't love it. I don't feel I need to keep it because I probably would be keeping it, but I've ordered the illustrated edition, the white cover that's coming out in October. I ordered that before I read it because I just got excited, it looked pretty. So yeah, I don't need to keep this one, and that one will be going. Next is a series that I'm currently reading the first book of. I've got about 100 pages left, and I'm so sad, but I've really not connected with this book at all. Like, it's just not for me. And that is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha McGann. I'm so sorry, I should have prepared and looked up the pronunciation of that name, so apologies if I've got that wrong. And also Girls of Storm and Shadow, which is the second book in this series. So I'm getting rid of both of these because I've got unless something really exciting happens in the last 100 or so pages, which I highly doubt, just judging by how I found the rest of the book. Like, if you like it, I'm really glad you do, but I just don't. I just have no interest in continuing the series, unfortunately. It's kind of, I know it's supposed to be covering like a lot of topics, and it's got a sapphic romance, and it covers the topic of the paper girls basically are girls that are forced to sleep with the king, which is obviously not a nice thing, and I really was excited to read about that and this kind of fierce protagonist who was going to change that. And honestly, so far, like, nothing has happened. It's so boring. The writing is just, personally for me, it's so overly descriptive, and the characters just aren't doing anything for me. So yeah, as I said, I doubt very much that in the last 100 pages or so I've got left that anything's going to change, and so I don't really want to read this, so they are probably going. Next are two books I've not read yet, but unfortunately I did a World of Books order that I do typically really recommend if you want to get second-hand books for cheap. And I ordered two books that were allegedly in very good condition, and sadly they really weren't. So they've sent me replacements which aren't great, but they're better than these. So the first is Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and like you can probably see the bad condition this is in. I know it's cheap, but I wouldn't have bought this in this condition, so I'm getting rid of that one. I'm just going to put it in a charity shop probably. And the second is The Final Empire, which is Mistborn Book 1 by Brandon Sanderson. Again, another book I really want to read, but yeah. Is it going to focus? The condition of this, again, is not great. I know I'm getting second hand, so I don't expect it to be brand new. However, if I'm choosing a very good condition book over a good / well read one, I don't really expect it to look like this. So yeah. The final book I'm going to get rid of is The Breakup Monologues by Rosie Wilby. Nothing really wrong with this. I'm really strict on myself. I only like to keep books that I really love, and I just want to like recommend to everyone, and I want to potentially read again, even though I'm not a big rereader, or books that I've not yet read. And this one, it was okay. It's just, I just have no desire to keep it, and it's a gorgeous book. So, oh, I wonder if I'm going to change my mind and use it as like a coffee table book. Although it's a bit of a depressing title, isn't it? Maybe it could be like a pretty, I don't know, but this is a potential, because now I've got it and I've looked at how pretty it is again, I might change my mind. But it would be for decorative purposes only. Okay, so now I'm going to go to past Eloise to go through the other books I unhauled for when I moved here, because I didn't really want to keep them or bring them with me. Yeah, so cut to Eloise. Okay. So the first one is It Only Happens in the Movies by Holly Bourne. So I got this very, very recently in a charity shop as part of a 3 for £1 deal. And there were two other books I wanted. I feel like I should tell you what they were. One of them was definitely a John Marrs book. I cannot remember what the other one was. But I needed another book to get me that 3 for £1 deal, and I'd seen this around and I thought, I've seen it, I'll give it a go. And I know this is so bad because I've only just got it. I know I'm not going to give it a go. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to keep a book I'm not going to read, so it's going to go. So there's one. Okay, number 2 is 3 Women by Lisa Taddeo. So I read this in, I want to say March, as part of a book club that I'm a member of, and this is, well, to me, I don't know if this is accurate, but to me this was kind of sold to me, if you will, as it's non-fiction, and it's about, well, funny enough, it's about 3 women, and I thought it was going to be about like their desires and being really open and honest and refreshing, and you know, into their like sexual desires and what they want as a woman, etc. And that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. However, that's not at all what this book was. So Lisa Taddeo says that she spent time with these 3 women, 3 real women, and like moved to live near them and talked to like their close friends and family for like, I think it was like 8 years. And I have to be honest, and this is an unpopular opinion and it's just my opinion, that didn't really come through. What I felt like I was reading was the stories of the personal stories of 3 women, which I would never like discredit or anything, but it was kind of more how they, for me, it was portrayed a different story to what I thought, and it was more how the 3 of them were all exploited by men in different ways. So we follow Maggie, Sloane and Lena. So we follow Maggie, Sloane and Lena, and they all have very different, very personal stories, and they're very brave to come out and talk to us about them. And it was okay. I didn't dislike it. I did really dislike the first 100 pages. Lisa Taddeo's writing style is very like densely descriptive, and it requires a lot of concentration, and I struggled with that for a little while. But once you got used to it and you got to know these women and what they were going through, and you felt more emotion towards them and their situations, I became very invested, and it was a really interesting book to read and talk about in my book club. However, as I said, it was just okay. I didn't love it. I'm not going to read it again, and I've got loads of books so I need to get rid of some, so this is going. Okay, the next one I'm going to unhaul is Blood Orange by Harriet Tice. So I've never read this. I've owned it for so long. I've seen very mixed things on it. I think it's like a domestic thriller, a damaged marriage, a toxic affair, a dark obsession. That's probably all I know about it. As I said, I've seen very, very mixed things on this. Some people do like it, but I would say I've seen more negative than positive for this. A lot of people say they don't like the characters, and I did want to read it to see whether I liked it or not, but I quite frankly can't be bothered, so it's going in the unhaul pile. Next is What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. I've read The Husband's Secret, 3 Wishes and Big Little Lies from this author, and loved them all. I got this not long ago. I'm sorry, I'm the worst for this, getting books that I think I want to read and then I just know I'm not going to read it. I do know I'm not going to read it. I don't feel like I want to pick it up. I don't see when I'm going to want to pick it up. I think from what the title suggests, What Alice Forgot, it's about somebody who wakes up and in their mind they are, I don't know how old she is, but it says she's lost a decade, so she's obviously, something's happened and she's woken up and it's 10 years later. I'm sure it's great. I really like this author's writing. I just have no desire to pick this one up, so it's going. Next is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. So I picked this up in a charity shop about 6 months ago. It was one I'd seen everywhere. I don't know what it's about. I think is it this book that is, I think it's like based in the space of a day. I could be wrong. As I said, this is what I mean. I pick up books I know very little about. I'm never going to read it. I've got no interest in reading it. It's going. I'm sorry, it's going. Next, you just need to hear me out, okay? Because you're going to see this and be like, but just hear me out, okay? So next is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, this is a well-loved book, and don't worry, I absolutely adore this book. So essentially, Evelyn Hugo is like an icon from the 50s. I think she first comes to her fame, in her Hollywood fame. So think the likes of like Marilyn Monroe, that kind of level of stardom. And now in the present day, she's still just an absolute phenomenon. And Monique has been given the opportunity to interview her. And Evelyn Hugo is she's refused to speak publicly for years, and she's asked for Monique, and we kind of follow them both to figure out why. But predominantly the story is from Evelyn as a young woman in the 50s to the present day, and the 7 husbands that she has, I want to say gone through, but that doesn't sound very nice, but yeah, over the years, her husbands and her love life. And honestly, it's absolutely incredible. It's one of my top books of the year. Yes, I'm very late to reading it, but it is one of the my top books of 2021. And as I said, don't panic. I've read it and I loved it, and I've ordered the hardback, which hasn't got here yet, but it will. And I've got hardback of Daisy Jones and the Six, and her latest one arrived yesterday, Malibu Rising, which I've not read and I'm so excited for. And I just wanted to treat myself, so I've got like a matching set of those books. So I've got the hardback on the way. I don't need 2 copies. I'm sure this will be very loved by someone else, so it's going. Next is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. I got this in a swap. I swapped it, a book for this and another book not that long ago. I'm terrible for this. What I'll do is I'll see the premise of a book and I will think, well, do you know what? That's a lie. I don't know what this book is about. I think it's about space and 2 young boys falling in love, I think. but I'd seen it around a bit, and as I said, it was part of a swap, so I was like, yeah, I'll try that one. And then I went on Goodreads, and this is what I'm coming back to. God, I'm in shambles. I went on Goodreads, and this is what I'm terrible at. I look at reviews before I read books, and I will read far too many reviews, and it's not got that great ratings overall. There are quite a few reviews that put me off, and I'm sorry, therefore I'm just not going to read it, so it is going. Sorry for that brief interlude. Nick just came in to tell me my food's ready. So the next book I'll get rid of, and don't hate me, I'm sorry, is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. And this is a very, very, very popular graphic novel series following Nick and Charlie, and they fall in love. So I read this and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to the TV show. But hear me out, and this again is just me, and I'm sorry. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Do I want to read the rest? Yes. Am I going to buy the rest? No. I'm not. Whilst I'll enjoy the story, these books are what, like £9 each? And it took me about 20-30 minutes to read, because if I show you, and I don't know if I'm showing you because you've already seen it, it's like, it's a graphic novel, so you can see it won't take me long at all. It won't take anyone long at all. I'm not, like, so for £9 I could be getting, sorry about the dog, I could be getting like a book that's going to take me a few hours to read and get invested in, and I can't justify spending that much money on something that whilst I enjoy it, that is enjoyable for only a very short period of time. So I'm sorry, it is going. If I can read the others online, or maybe on Kindle for cheaper, then I will, but I just can't justify the cost with that, compared with how much enjoyment I get, so it is going. Someone else will love it. Next is Scarlet by Marissa Mayer. So this is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. I've read Cinder on my Kindle and I loved it, and this is such a ridiculous reason for getting rid of it, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is an honest place. I'm getting rid of Scarlet, which is the second. I've not read it, but it's really bothering me. This is so silly. It's really bothering me that I've got the second book to a series on my shelf and none of the others. It's just bothering me. It's sitting there. I will read it at some point, but I'm not going to read this copy. I might read it on my Kindle, because I did like Cinder, but I didn't like love it, and I mean, I would like to read the series, but it's not like I need the series. So I might read it on my Kindle, or if I read this and I like it, I might treat myself to the new covers, because the new covers are really nice. So that is going. So much talking, so many books left. So next is Call Me By Your Name by Andre, is it Aciman? Sorry, I should have researched that, I'm terrible with names. I've never read this, so this is an unread copy. I think it's about like a summer romance between these two guys here, and I heard it was beautiful from so many people, and I'm sure that it is. However, from my friend G on Instagram, who I will tag, I learned a lot about some of the contents in this book, and it just didn't sit well with me. It made me a bit uncomfortable when she told me the kind of stuff that was in here, and it's put me off reading it ever since. And I'm going to unhaul it because I think it will take away, I don't know, I just don't want to read it anymore, so it is going. Next is Captain Corelli's Mandolin. I bought this ages ago. I'm just never going to read it. I think it's like a love story from like quite a long time ago. It's a film. Someone told me it was their favourite book, so I bought it. I'm never ever going to read it. I'd rather it went to someone that was going to read it. Short and sweet, that's it. Next is one again that I think is going to be a bit unpopular, and that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I read this and was highly anticipating it. I thought I would love it. I love Sarah J Maas, and on the top it says a brilliant debut full of everything I love, and that was from Sarah J Maas. So I was like, I'm gonna love this, I'm gonna love this. I gave it 3 stars, three stars, and I was gutted because I think this cover is beautiful, as is the Blood and Honey, which I don't own. as is Gods and Monsters, I think the third one's called. These are my flamingo pyjamas. Yeah, anyway, sorry. Yeah, I was very underwhelmed. I just thought the story points were a little bit weak. It went on for far too long. And I've heard the second book. Again, this is me with listening to reviews and putting myself off because I read too many bad ones. But I've heard that the second one, nothing really happens. And because I didn't like this very much, and this is the preferred of the two, why would I carry on the series when... just no, I'm sorry, I've got to be realistic. It's going, I'm sorry, I really, really wanted to love this. Really did. I'm gutted and I'm sorry. Next one is Last One at the Party by Bethany Clift, and this is a gorgeous Waterstones exclusive edition with sprayed edges. I got this 3 weeks ago for my book clubs. It's the one I read Three Women for, and I was really looking forward to it. However, this is where reviews do come in handy. So I like reading reviews, I do, I'm not going to pretend I don't. I like reading people's reviews, I appreciate the time people take to write reviews. And I realised that this includes some content which I won't read about. So essentially it's based in a world where the world has ended and there is one woman left. And that's all I know about it. I imagine it's kind of, we're watching her survive this, and I know she has a Labrador. But I also know from reviews that there are some scenes which would really, I just can't read, and it's like, naturally, if the world's ended and there's no people left, there are going to be animals left, and it will upset me. I can't read about it. I'd rather not read things that I know are going to bother me. I'm sure it's a great book, I've heard excellent things. I hope my book club enjoy it, but I can't read it, and I'd rather it went to someone that loved it. But I am silly because I got this edition before knowing and reading reviews, so lesson learnt. Don't do that again, Eloise. Next is Second Place by Rachel Cusk. I am getting... oh, sorry, those are some cards. This was gifted to me by the publisher Favour Books and Tandem Collective for a read-along. I'm getting rid of it because I did not get it. I'm sorry, I just didn't get it. I couldn't even really tell you what it's about other than very basically a woman sees a picture and she like resonates, so sorry, not picture, like a piece of art in a gallery window, and she like looks at it and thinks, wow, I feel really connected with this. So she invites the artist, and by the way, she's referred to as M and he's referred to as L, and she invites L to come and stay at her second place, hence the title of the book. So it's like, I imagine it's like a, you know, you have like a second like house, but not really a house. If you live somewhere nice, you might have like a second like separate building. To Pink, she lives in like a really beautiful marsh, and that is honestly all I can tell you. He arrives with a woman called Brett. We also meet M's husband and her daughter and her partner. And it's just, that's literally all I could tell you. I did not get it, but that probably is, I'm probably the wrong audience. In fact, I know I'm the wrong audience because it's a very like art-based book. I'm not creative, I'm not into art, and so I just didn't get it. I actually couldn't rate this. I struggled to write a review because whilst the writing was actually really nice, I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. I didn't get it, so it's got to go. I'm sorry. The next book I'm getting rid of is Pictures of Lily by Paige Toon. This is quite an older edition, I think. I swapped this with someone. I think it's like your typical rom-com chick lit type book. I'm never going to read it. Unless I hear excellent things about this type of book, this genre of book, they're not books that I really gravitate towards. I used to, and this is the type of book that I used to read exclusively. But unless it's something that I really think I'm going to love, like say Beth O'Leary's books, Jojo Moyes. I'm just not going to read it, and so it's going to go to a better home. We're nearly there, we're nearly there. The next one I'm getting rid of is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I know what you're going to say, why are you getting rid of Eloise after the conversation we just had a few minutes ago when you said you absolutely love it? Well, I've got the hardback. I found an immaculate copy of the hardback for £2 in a charity shop, so I'm unhauling this copy. Great book, really recommend, but I'm replacing my paperback with a hardback. So the next book I'm getting rid of is again an unpopular opinion, and that is Cinderella is Dead by Kaden Bayron. This is a Cinderella retelling, funnily enough, and we follow Sophia, who is a young black woman who wants to be with her partner, she's in love with her best friend Erin, and it's a mutual. But in this world, that's not allowed. You have to go to the ball where a man will pick you, you don't get a say, and you marry him, and that's kind of it. I really thought I would love this. In fact, I was certain I'd love it, and I gave it 3 stars. I was highly disappointed. It just did not deliver for me. I'd say the first quarter of the book I really enjoyed, and it just went very downhill. It felt very underdeveloped for me. I felt like a lot more could have been done. There was just a lack of there wasn't enough detail in there for me to care enough or get a sense enough of what was going on. I was just underwhelmed, and therefore I'm not going to keep it. Next is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, and this comes with some very heavy trigger warnings regarding infertility and miscarriage. So essentially we follow our main protagonist Quinn and her husband Graham, and it's split into 2 timelines, so when they first met and like the early days of their relationship, and the current day and their struggles with trying to have a baby. I thought I'd love this. It's got very, very high ratings, 5 stars. I know it's a different kind of genre, but I've loved Verity by Colleen Hoover. I've loved Layla by Colleen Hoover. Regretting You was more this sort of genre, but I did like it. I didn't love it, but I was convinced I'd love this because I thought it'd really upset me, and I'd really care about the characters. And yes, it did upset me, and I think that the topic is such a sensitive topic, obviously, and I felt like it was dealt with very well. But it just didn't fully deliver for me. I don't know why. I don't know what went so wrong for me. I didn't really connect with either character, and the ending, I was a bit like, oh, okay. I just was underwhelmed. Bottom line, I was underwhelmed, and I don't want to keep it. I don't keep books that are 3 stars and under. Otherwise I would never get rid of any books, and my shelves would be overflowing, which they kind of already are, but I'd rather not keep books that I don't really like so they can go to a nice new home. Okay, so we have 2 left, and this isn't really one, but this is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, and this is an ARC. I was kindly sent this by the publisher. However, I've now got a signed finished copy, and I don't need 2 copies, so I'm going to let someone love this and read it. And I know I can't sell ARCs, and I'm not going to sell an ARC, but I'm going to give it to a friend or family member and let them read it. And the final book is The Time Traveller's Wife. I know this is a lot of people's favourites and a must read. I've seen the film years ago, and I know the book's probably better, but I'm just never going to read it, so it's going. Okay, so that was my book unhaul. As you can see, I got rid of quite a few books, some popular ones. I'm sorry if I've got rid of any of your favourites. Like, everyone has different favourites, and if you like a book that I don't like, that's great, and vice versa. So I hope I've not upset anyone by my unhaul. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you unhauled any this month and what they are. Thanks for watching. Bye!